John Loves here of Let's Go Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing another head by Evolution Outdoors. I've been really impressed with Evolution Outdoors over the years. I've used them in the field successfully. I've tested them in the lab and they've done really well. They have a great reputation, and their designer, Dale, I mean, man, Dale Perry. He's just like the guru of broadhead designs and came out with so many really cutting edge things back in the day and continues to. So I've been so impressed with their broadheads. I reached out to them a while back to see if I could get a discount code, and they gave me one. So if you use LUSK10, LUSK10, anytime you order from their website, you can save 10% on any of their heads. I've tested their mechanicals quite a bit, and today I'm going to be testing their fixed blade head. The fixed blades they call the Jekyll, and then the mechanicals they call the Wyde. And you can, they're all interchangeable. You can go from the Jekyll to the Wyde. That's the whole beauty of the design. Interchangeable within one ferrule to go from a fixed blade to a mechanical, or multiple fixed blades, multiple mechanicals within each one. Pretty cool. I'll explain more about that. But today I'm going to be testing the Jekyll Wyde, and they spell it W-Y-D-E, okay, kind of like Hyde, but it's the Jekyll Wyde, a little bit wider cut. Cool looking broadhead, two curved blades. I love the look of this. It's kind of broadhead you hold and you just go, man, I want to shoot something with this now. So I'm going to be testing it using my 2026 regimen, and for a detailed description of that, please check out the video I posted earlier this year called 2026 Broadhead Test Process, and it'll walk you through that. I'm going to be using my Elite Eon Compound bow for all my vertical bow shooting, and for the crossbow shooting, I'm using my Ravin LR at 450 feet per second. Okay, let's zoom on in here, check out this broadhead, and then put it to the test. Here's a good look at the Jekyll Wyde, and man, what a cool looking broadhead. It looks cool just static like that. Kind of looks like a bow and arrow right there, bow at full draw. But it also looks cool like spinning like that. I just love the looks of this broadhead. And this is the Jekyll Wyde, as I said. This is 135 grains, which sometimes people complain. They're like, oh man, you know, that 10 grains is going to mess me up. Man, I bet 99.9% of the people watching this video are not good enough with their bow to detect 10 grains at under 60 yards. Okay, let's just be real. I mean, 10 grains is so little. I know for me, I've been shooting a long time, and I know I can't tell the difference. I actually, inside of 40 yards, I'll use 100 grain, 125 grain, even 150 grain, pretty much interchangeably. So 10 grains, I'm not worried about. And it took an extra 10 grains to get it extra wide. I think it's a fair sacrifice to do that, but it's important to note just the same. This is all steel. So the ferrule is a 416 hardened steel ferrule. The blades are 420 stainless steel. The dimensions, in this dimension, the greatest diameter is 1 3/8, and this way is 3/4 of an inch. So total cut of 2.125 inches. That's a lot of cut. The length of the broadhead beyond the end of the arrow is 1.37 inches. And each of the blades are 0.059 inches thick. So nice, thick, durable blades, cut on contact tip, all steel. And then you've got this curve in both direction that Dale Perry, the owner and designer, is really famous for, and more people are realizing that a curved blade like this slices more efficiently to aid in penetration and to aid in bloodletting as well. It's why swords like a katana sword, a samurai sword, have a curve to them, because they get a good slashing, slicing motion, and that's what happens as a broadhead is penetrating. So it gets a little bonus for that. They also like to emphasize that this broadhead can be used as a crossbow as well as a vertical bow broadhead. Its optimized flight is up to 400 feet per second. I'm going to be testing it a little faster than that, and so I look forward to seeing how it flies at even faster speed. Another thing that's interesting about the design is the way that these blades are not in the same plane. You see, like there's one up front here and then one a little bit farther back, and the main reason for that is it's going to help with penetration, that the initial penetration is just on this tiny two blade, so it's going to sink into the medium, the animal, and then this cross cut is going to cut in after that. If both of them are in the same plane, then all 4 blades are hitting at the same point, and that can sometimes impede penetration, sometimes cause a little bit of a bounce back effect, if you will, but this is going to aid in penetration. And then, like I said, the curved blade is going to aid in cutting efficiency, slicing efficiency as well. So a lot of really cool things about this Broadhead. And one other thing I want to note is all of their blades and their mechanical and fixed blades are modular, and that they can all be used within the same ferrules. So they're interchangeable. That's why it's called Jekyll and Hyde. This is the Jekyll, and then you can put in the mechanical version and it turns into Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So it's pretty cool design like that. So many cool things about it. I look forward to putting this head to the test and seeing how it performs. With my Elite compound bow, it got the 10 ring. And with the Ravin at 450 feet per second, it got the bullseye. It took 197 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale, plus a bonus of 0.03 for being under the threshold of 200. It penetrated 7.5 inches, which is an 8.57 on a 10-point scale. It took an additional 24 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.52 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 58 layers, which is an 8.29 on a 10-point scale, and is actually really good for a cut that size and with the blades flared out that quickly. The head's in excellent shape after the 3 shots through the MDF. And it's still in perfect condition after the 2 shots through the steel plate. You can't even tell it's been shot. There's 0 edge chatter. And then look at these holes. Man, those are just nice, wide wound channels that are going to be difficult to close up. Look at this after all the durability testing. Wow, this really surprised me and impressed me. Through the MDF, 3 shots, no damage. Through the steel plate, 2 shots, couldn't even tell had been shot. Into the cinder block, penetrated really well. And the only damage, as you can see, let me get my finger out of the way, a little bit of edge chatter there in the tip of the blade. I mean, the slightest bit. I mean, I really just don't even want to call that damage, but it is compared to some that held up perfectly. But what can I say? Really, really impressive durability. Not perfect, but darn near perfect. So what'd you think? Winner, winner. Man, another winner of a Broadhead. I didn't know how the Wyde was going to do. I didn't know how it was going to fly. Didn't know how durable it was going to be. But man, it held up extremely well. I love this Broadhead. You got to know it weighs a little bit more than its traditional 135 grains. But I think I mentioned earlier, man, that's like nothing in the field. An extra 10 grains, you're not going to notice it. Very few of my viewers, great as you may be at shooting, are going to notice a flight difference out to even pretty long range. It's certainly within my margin of error, so I'm not worried about that. I'll shoot it interchangeably with my 125 grains, no problem, and kind of like the extra little beef that I get out of them. But this is a really fantastic Broadhead. Hey, you check out the score sheet. See how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most. See if it might be a good fit for you and your hunting needs. But I think it can fit a lot of hunting needs. And stay tuned for the overall cumulative score, which you got a really good one, as well as the corresponding Lusk grade. And also stay tuned for a list of all the discount codes that I can offer, like the Evolution Outdoors Broadheads. Lusk 10 saves you 10%, but there's many more discount codes on the slide that's going to come up as well, so stay tuned for that. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next time.